Simon calls Josh into his office and tells him he must evict a tenant, Mr. Fitzhugh, because the bank now owns his apartment and they will take it back the next day. Josh finds Enrique chatting with Arthur, who seems to like him. As Josh walks home with Lester, the doorman, he mentions this will be his last year working at the tower. The next morning, Josh sees Slide arguing with his girlfriend. At work, he notices Arthur's car hasn't left yet and spots a car with 4 men in suits outside. They head toward the tower. Josh suspects a robbery, tells Lester to lock up and clear the lobby. He can't see the men on the cameras, but then he spots Arthur being forced into a laundry van on the garage cameras. Josh rushes out as the van smashes through the barriers. He runs after them but gets knocked down by a woman as the van crashes. The car with the suited men arrives and they arrest everyone in the van, including Arthur. Josh tells the FBI he's a victim, but FBI agent Denham informs him it was an escape attempt. Later, the news reports that Arthur was arrested for massive fraud. At a staff meeting the next day, Josh tells the staff that Arthur had been handling their pensions and they might have lost everything. The staff gets mad at Josh for putting their money with Arthur. Arthur gets released on $10 million bail with the condition of house arrest. The FBI takes him back to his apartment and takes over staffing there. Josh asks Denham when they might get their money back. She says they might not if he's found guilty. On his way home, Josh sees Slide getting arrested. Lester tries to jump in front of a subway train but is stopped just in time. He had given Arthur his life savings to invest and lost it all. Josh promises to recover everything. Back at the tower, Josh meets with Fitzhugh, who thinks Arthur knew he was in trouble a year ago and took Lester's money to maintain appearances. Josh, Charlie, and Enrique sneak past the FBI to confront Arthur. Josh asks why he took Lester's money and ends up smashing an antique car in Arthur's apartment. After this, Simon fires all 3 of them. Later, in a bar, Josh tries to give Denham information about Arthur's past schedule, but she says they already have it. She explains that the banks will get the money first and they'll likely get nothing. She apologizes and suggests they get drunk together. While drunk, she mentions they haven't found Arthur's emergency fund yet. He always has some cash stashed away. A few months ago, he cleared nearly $20 million from his accounts. She hints that if they find it, they might both benefit. She believes he should try a direct approach and then leaves drunk. Josh goes back to the tower to collect his notebooks on Arthur's appointments from the past years. He then goes to find Enrique, Fitzhugh, and Charlie and tells them he wants to steal $20 million he believes is hidden in a wall safe in Arthur's apartment. Josh shares his suspicions about where the safe is located and convinces them to join him. Charlie is hesitant, pointing out they aren't criminals and don't know how to steal. Josh mentions he knows someone who does and goes to pay bail for Slide. Once free, Slide demands to know why Josh bailed him out. Over lunch with the group, Josh lays out the problem and explains the building's layout and security details. They spend some time watching the tower and police activity. One night, FBI agent Denham and 2 police officers ring Josh's doorbell. Denham warns Josh that Arthur plans to get away with everything and intends to press charges for the car damage unless Josh sincerely apologizes. Josh agrees and is taken to Arthur's apartment for a very tense conversation. On the way home, Denham shows him security footage of him damaging the car, which he has removed, preventing Arthur from pressing charges. Josh invites her to dinner on Saturday, and she accepts. The others are doubtful about his relationship with her. Slide then confesses he can't crack the safe. Remembering Odessa's father is a locksmith, Josh asks for her help. The next day, during surveillance, they see Charlie entering the tower. When confronted, he reveals Simon has offered him Josh's job and threatens to expose their plan if Josh approaches the tower. Odessa teaches Slide how to open the safe. Meanwhile, Denham meets with Arthur and his lawyer, learning his court date has been moved up to Thanksgiving. She informs Josh, who tells his team their plan is on track. Charlie holds a staff briefing about Thanksgiving plans while Enrique secretly takes Charlie's wife's phone. Arthur is escorted out of the tower for court. From a restaurant across the street, Josh watches Slide enter the tower. Slide decides to go after the money alone, but Josh chooses to stick with the original plan. Just as Charlie gets a message that his wife is having a baby and rushes out, Josh, Enrique, and Fitzhugh sneak in. While Odessa distracts the staff, Slide engages Simon, pretending to be a bank representative, dealing with Fitzhugh's account and asks to see Fitzhugh's old apartment. As Slide and Simon take the elevator, Josh, Enrique, and Fitzhugh opt for the stairs. Slide then locks Simon in a closet and heads up to Arthur's apartment in the elevator. Meanwhile, Odessa knocks out a guard at Arthur's place. Josh sabotages the elevator, trapping Slide temporarily. Slide climbs up the elevator shaft while Josh and the others reach Arthur's apartment and find the safe. They break through the wall just before Slide gets there. Slide pulls a gun on them, but Odessa intervenes, causing him to drop it. Fitzhugh grabs the gun and stands guard as Odessa works on the safe. Meanwhile, realizing he's been deceived, Charlie returns to the tower and checks the security cameras, suspecting foul play. Arthur reaches court only to find it closed, so Denham takes him